This is the place for a complete Big Ten football recap from this past weekend. Everything you need to know. We do it all for you in just 10 minutes. All right. It's our Big Ten rapid recap. On your mark, get set, go. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And if you can like, share, and follow, that'd be great. And you can hype YouTube videos as well. So every team, every game, complete recap. Plus, we got a coaching change at Michigan State. And we'll tell you our weekend plans coming up for our live broadcast after the Big Ten championship game. But first, let's talk about the game. Ohio State wins at Michigan 27-9. Ohio State is now 12-0 and #1 in the country, undefeated. They'll face #2 and also undefeated Indiana for the Big Ten championship game on Saturday night. Julian Sayin regrouped from an early turnover in this game through 3 touchdown passes. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, Bo Jackson, 22 carries, 117 yards. They shut down Bryce Underwood, who only threw for 63 yards and an interception. By the way, that was by Davison Igbinosun, who was a penalty machine last year with pass interference, like 16 of them, only 3 this year. Guys getting it dialed in pretty well with that Matt Patricia defense. Meanwhile, I talked about how they'll take on the Hoosiers in the Big Ten championship game. They finished on Friday night their season at Purdue, undefeated for the first time in school history, like over a century. The most losingest program of all time, over 700 losses, undefeated, 12-0, 9-0 in the Big Ten. They beat Purdue 56-3 after their 66-0 win over the Boilermakers last year. That's 122-3 aggregate score if we want to do it soccer style over the last 2 years. Fernando Mendoza was having a little bit of trouble passing. I don't know if it was cold weather or what the situation was. He wasn't phenomenal, so they leaned in on the running game. Kalen Black had 2 touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza and Roman Hemby also ran for scores. 24 degrees, coldest ever bucket game, 100th bucket game. Now, these schools have played 127 times, but the bucket's only been around for 100 of those. So the Boilermakers have now lost 10 in a row after an 0-2 start. Hemby had a career season high 152 yards on the ground. Indiana, 355 on the ground for the night. It was a group effort. Second highest total of the year, a 6th 300-yard rushing game this season, 10 tackles for loss and an interception for that defense. So, again, it will be Indiana, Ohio State, Big Ten Championship Saturday. We go live after that one. Even though we're here all week, every day, we're going live after that one. All right, elsewhere, the Oregon Ducks, they look like they're playoff bound, right? Kind of a must-win game against Washington. Some people thought they could have lost that game and still maybe made the playoffs, maybe, but we don't have to find out. They ended up winning 26-14 at Washington to finish 11-1. Malik Benson, a key 64-yard touchdown catch, had 102 yards on the day, but that came with about 8 minutes to go to secure the win. It was a pretty close ball game. It was 19-14 at that point. Atticus Sappington made 4 field goals for the Ducks, including a career-long 51-yarder. And again, we always talk about the offense for the Ducks. We've got to pay attention to this defense. Their secondary in particular is excellent. They went into this game. They've given up the 3rd fewest passing yards per game in the country. And Damon Williams is a pretty good quarterback for Washington, was held to a season-low 129 yards passing, and he threw 2 interceptions. Jaden Kennedy and also Dylan Thieneman with the interceptions. Now, let's talk about the Michigan State-Maryland game at Ford Field. Michigan State won 38-28, their first Big Ten win of the season. And then Jonathan Smith got fired after 2 seasons. And they were 4-8 on the year. Smith just 9-15 since coming over from Oregon State. It just the plane never got off the ground with this. However, they still owe him $33 million from the contract, so he's not going away empty-handed. Keep an eye on former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald as a possible replacement for Smith at Michigan State. That guy won 110 games over 17 seasons at his alma mater, Northwestern. And then the hazing scandal hit 3 years ago. He lost his job over that. He sued. They just settled. He's still young. He wants back in. I think he's a good coach. This might be a good move here for Michigan State in this game. As for their young quarterback, Alessio Milivojevic, he had a career high 4 touchdown passes for the Spartans. The Terps starting out 4-0, and then they lose 8 straight. Now, we already know Mike Loxley's coming back next year because he's got a pretty promising young quarterback, and Malik Washington, who chucked it 61 times. I don't know if you want your freshman throwing the ball 61 times, but he completed 38 of them for a career high 459 yards on the day. But I think largely that's the one reason Mike Loxley's being allowed to come back next year. So how about Penn State? We all know the story. Number 2 preseason, disaster, fired coach, the whole deal. They finished 6-6. They beat Rutgers. They had to come back to do it, but they won 40-36. Penn State is now bowl eligible. They've beaten Rutgers 18 straight times. This game had 4 lead changes in the second half. It was incredible. And Kaytron Allen, career high, 226 on the ground and a rushing touchdown. His counterpart in the backfield, Nicholas Singleton, rushed for his 44th and 45th career touchdown. That passes Saquon Barkley's school mark. Also total of 55 touchdowns and all-purpose yards, 55-86. 2 great careers. Just applaud those 2 on to the NFL. And I don't know what Penn State's going to do without one or both. I mean, both of them. Just to lose one would be bad enough. They played side by side for 4 years. They still both got all these individual records, even though they were splitting time. But a great performance and a great career by all of those guys. And, also I should point out that for Rutgers, just for the second time in school history, the Scarlet Knights had a quarterback in Ethan Kalakmanis, who threw for over 3,000 yards. Also a running back, Antoine Raymond, who got over 1,000 yards, and a receiver, KJ Duff, who had over 1,000 receiving yards. Put all 3 together. That's only happened twice now in school history. The snow globe game of the weekend. I know it snowed in Ann Arbor, but it really snowed in Minnesota. 17-7. They beat Wisconsin for the Paul Bunyan Axe. 7-5 Minnesota. PJ Fleck's 45th birthday, by the way. Wisconsin finishes 4-8. This rivalry goes back to 1892, by the way. This is the 135th edition. And Minnesota keeps the Axe for the 4th time in 5 years. PJ Fleck, the second longest tenured coach in the Big Ten after 9 seasons now. But it was the defense that did it. When you get a snowy day, you need some defense. That travels. That plays in all kinds of weather. John Nestor had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Darius Taylor, 49-yard run late in the second quarter that helped out. Go for 7-0 at home. First time undefeated at home since 1967. Meanwhile, the Badgers, much easier. They had the hardest schedule in the Big Ten this year. Much easier next year. Now, they open up at Lambeau against Notre Dame, but they do not have Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, or Indiana on the Big Ten schedule, and that's probably another reason why they brought Luke Fickell back. USC beat UCLA at the Coliseum, 29-10. USC is now 9-3, UCLA 3-9. Slow start for the Trojans. 2 reasons. Probably a letdown coming off that Oregon game when they realize they can't get to the playoffs anymore. Still going to go to a decent bowl, but also Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane were benched for the first 2 series for violating team rules. But Lemon came in and caught a touchdown earlier. Walk-on running back King Miller continues to impress, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, UCLA will start looking for a new head coach. Tim Skipper was the interim. Deshaun Foster got fired during the season. Keep an eye on James Madison head coach Bob Chesney. He seems to be circling this one. Chesney's the guy that replaced Kurt Signetti at James Madison. And so they're going to the well, hoping there's more magic there. And in the Land of Lincoln battle, Northwestern and Illinois. Illinois wins 20-13. Illinois finishes 8-4. Northwestern 6-6. Again, I want to start with some D. Miles Scott. Check this out. When a game is on the line, you want this. Miles Scott had 2 interceptions in the final 5 minutes of the game of a 1-score game. Yeah. Sign me up for some of that. Also a snowy night. Luke Altmaier says goodbye. His last regular season game at home there for the Illini. Threw for 136 yards. Preston Stone had a tough night for Northwestern, but Northwestern's going bowling. Second time in 3 years with David Braun as their head coach. And then this whole weekend started on Black Friday at noon. Iowa beat Nebraska on a 26-degree snowy day, 40-16. Iowa 8-4, Nebraska 7-5. Iowa beat Nebraska for the 10th time in 11 meetings. They keep the Heroes Trophy. Mark Gronowski, 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air. And on the losing side, Nebraska's Emmett Johnson, who they have relied on wholeheartedly, all season. He's been phenomenal. But since Dylan Raiola went down, he's been the go-to guy. And he rushed for a career-high 217 yards, 177 in the first half, 29 carries. 8th 100-yard game of the season, 5th straight, absolutely phenomenal. Iowa's defense held Nebraska to 69 yards in the second half, and Iowa has won at least 8 games every year since 2015, with the exception of the 2020 COVID year. There, got it all in. Just a little over 10 minutes today. If you are new, we're here every day. All things Big Ten. Hit that free subscribe button down below, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like, and don't forget, you want the audio version or the video version? Video on YouTube, audio on Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you can also share, follow, and like, that helps us out too. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com, podcast and school merchandise for the holidays. Do a little shopping there. And I will tell you about our weekend plans and what we have going on with our live podcast this weekend. That's all coming up in a minute here on Locked On Big Ten. Game Time is where you get tickets. Download the Game Time app, couple of taps, and you're going. And we got the World Cup coming up. That's a ticket now, okay? I know a lot of soccer fans are talking about prices and availability already. Get the Game Time app now. There's some cool features here I'm going to tell you about in just a second. It's coming to North America. First since 1994, 48 teams, huge field. So the Game Time app, absolutely clutch, giving you an advantage on how to get some seats for this. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time. You will get alerts when great seats open up, and you can buy tickets the moment they hit the app. So it puts the power back in your hands. No more guessing, no more waiting. Boom, you're dialed in. And you can go to the World Cup. It can be realistic now when maybe you thought it was impossible earlier. You get a view from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy, a couple of taps, no surprise pricing. Everything, what you see is what you get. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets, every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, Game Time. Holidays are here. Omaha Steaks. It's synonymous, right? Now, here's the deal. You can get the perfect gift for somebody with Omaha Steaks, or you can get them for yourself. All right? It's just an average meal at the house. Hey, let's have some Omaha Steaks tonight, right? So now's the time to jump in because they deliver right to your door, and they got their cyber sale going on. The deals are huge right now. The quality is phenomenal with tender steaks, rich flavor, and meals, and making hosting or even the simple weeknight cookout early, very easy. And also the variety. It's not just steaks, even though steaks are our favorite, right? Burgers, comfort meals, sides, desserts. They got something for everybody right there. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. And for an additional $35 off, use the promo code college at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code college. Terms apply. See site for details at omahasteaks.com. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten and making us your first listen each and every day. We're here every single day, but I also want to thank you for making us the #1 sports podcast network here at Locked On. Hit that subscribe button for free. So we're here every day. You get notified when we're going live on Saturdays as well. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, and check out our website, talkbig10.com, where all of our podcasts go. You want to go back for a second listen. You want to go back and check out our exciting live post-game reaction to that Ohio State-Michigan game. It's all on there. You can go check that out as well. We're here every day with multiple podcasts, just keeping you on top of everything going on in the Big Ten. But on Saturdays after big games during football season, we go live. There's one game this weekend. It's the Big Ten championship game. It's Indiana and Ohio State, 2 undefeateds, number 1, number 2 in the country. As soon as that game is over, we'll go live for a complete recap and reaction. So it's an 8 o'clock kickoff-ish, 8:15. That thing won't be over till about 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. We'll go live then as soon as the winning coach does his interview on the field. And then not only do you get my immediate raw reaction post-game, I get yours too. Real-time, real live comments. So we always like that. We have a lot of fun doing that as well. That is all coming up this weekend on Saturday night. Thanks for checking us out here today. Can't wait till we meet again tomorrow for Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon. We'll see you next time.